when the economy would be improved because we are giving out our excellent best in the service, no less than even our own families would benefit because it's really a cycle of prosperity. So thank you so much to Competitive Bureau for our partnership and even for your passionate support for promoting PQA. So good afternoon and we expect to learn more about PQA for today's session.
Thank you so much po, ARD. Truly, your message have set the stage for what promises to be a meaningful and intriguing PQA journey. And now to welcome our regional candidates. Kasi sila po yung bida natin for this afternoon. May I call on Sir Artem to introduce our regional candidates.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. So I'll just read the participant, the name of the participants. It's here pala no. Okay, so from we have the following the candidates for this PQA regionalization program in Region A. So we have from the province of Biliran, the Biliran Province State University, from Eastern Visayas State University, or EBSU, the Eastern Samar State University, or ESU, the local government of Ormoc City, Northwest Samar State University main campus, the Southern Leyte State University, the University of Eastern Philippines, and the Visayas State University. So, Ms. Jeremy, that would be the candidate for this PQA regionalization program here in Region A. Good afternoon again.
Thank you, Sir Artem. So, ayan po, magkakakilala na po tayo. Before po tayo mag-proceed sa ating program proper, may I ask you all po to open your cameras para makapag-photo op po tayo. Ayan. So, first page po. 1, 2, 3, smile. Ayan. Second page po. 1, 2, 3, smile. Ayan. Last page na po tayo. 1, 2, 3, smile. Ayan. Thank you so much po, everyone. And now let us proceed po to the program proper. And to give you the overview of the PQA program, may I call on the Division Chief of the National Quality and Competitiveness Division, Ms. Cheryl Santos.
Hi, magandang hapon sa lahat. Hi, ARD Badet. See you again. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat for gracing this how do we call it, a webinar. Today actually is a significant day because it marks the start of your journey to performance excellence. Yan. So we are ably joined here by our resource people and our PQA administrators. So we are all in good hands. So the only thing that we need to do for today is have an open mind and open heart para ma-welcome natin lahat ng mga new information that we will be learning for today. So ano ba yung PQA? PQA, as we call it, is the Philippine Quality Award, which is actually has a legal basis, no? Ang legal basis niya are actually 2 laws. It is mandated by EO 448 in 1997 and also by a Republic Act, which is 1913, or the PQA Act. So based on the law, the PQA, or the Philippine Quality Award, is the highest level of national recognition for exemplary organizational performance. It promotes performance excellence framework, which is an integrated approach for performance management. Bakit siya integrated approach? Kasi you will know later that there are about 7 categories which you have to look deeply into, and from there interchanging or intertwined sila or interweave sila, and para silang this is another quality management system where you will learn how to have an effective system in your organization so that you can effectively serve your customers internally and externally. So, hindi naman natin sasabihin na hindi siya dekalidad kasi aside from it being a highest level of national recognition, dun pa lang sa trophy, dito sa nakikita niyong slide, ang gumawa na niyan ay national artist, anak ng national artist natin. May baybayin siya na nakalagay husay kung ma-figure out nyo, no? So, doon pa lang sa trophy natin, pinag-isipan na natin na talagang yung makaka-receive nito, katanggap-tanggap at very deserving. And another thing that we are very eager to share with you is that this is an award that is, or the program is actually of global standard kasi it is patterned after the Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award of the United States. Isa to sa pinakamahirap at pinaka-prestiyosong National Quality Award din na nagaganap sa USA. So, you are in good hands when you already said yes to being a part of this PQA journey. Next slide. So much like education, napansin ko, no, karamihan dito are from the education or the academe, no? So much like education, ang PQA program can be likened to a ladderized approach. There are several steps, but it doesn't necessarily mean na you have to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, no? Pwedeng immediately, kung ready na yung kumpanya ninyo, you can go for level 3 or even at the higher level, the level 4. But considering that we are all SMEs and we are all learning what performance excellence is all about, the best time to know about it is now because ang journey starts with either recognition under level 1 or level 2. So, ang level 1 actually is a recognition to commitment to quality management. So, ano bang ibig sabihin nito? Yung organization lang has actually demonstrated serious commitment to improvement to achieve quality excellence. So ito yung simula ninyo. Nakita na namin na just by attending this, knowing more about the PQA, we now have a good gauge na mukhang seryoso nga kayo to know more about improvement to achieve quality excellence. So perhaps you will all be good for achieving recognition level 1. Or even perhaps meron sa inyo level 2 naman ang kanilang pwedeng ma-attain. Ano naman yung level 2? Level 2 is recognition and proficiency in quality management. What is this level all about? Ito'y tungkol sa mga organizations that have already demonstrated significant progress in building sound processes. So nagsimula na sila ng seryosong commitment, ngayon meron na silang significant progress na makikita ng ating mga butihing mga consultants. So pagka nakita na ito, then you can be awarded or recognized for level 2 PQA award. And then when we go up notch higher, we can look for level 3, which is recognition for mastery in quality management. Yung namang level 3, yung organization at this time has already superior results clearly linked to robust management system. So na-establish na yung results at may management system na sabi nga ay matibay at matatag. So nasa level 3 kayo pag nandito na kayo sa ganitong paradigm. Now we go up one notch more. We now achieve the highest quality management award, which is the Philippine Quality Award or the PQA. So at this level, level 4, which is the highest level of excellence, the organization has already demonstrated the management excellence to improve and build outstanding results and excellent system. Now, we all wish for you to aspire to go through the journey. And ang swerte ninyo for today, we even have a 0 level. Kasi ito yung ngayon yung we are now tooling you with the right mindset, with the right information for you to be able to go up the steps properly and appropriately. So nandito tayo ngayon sa pagsimula with a toolkit for organizational resilience and excellence. So we hope na throughout the day, nagkaroon lang kayo ng knowledge about PQA, immediately magagamit nyo na not necessarily just in your organization, but in your personal lives as well. Okay? Next slide. So this slide shows that the program has indeed been regionalized. No? So there, in 2022, during the PQA anniversary celebration, we launched the regionalization of the program. Kasi for the past 10 years, for the past 25 years rather, that the program has been in place, we wanted to populate it at the regional level because we know for a fact that there are indeed deserving organizations that are that can actually start the journey into performance excellence. And by virtue of the Department Administrative Order or DAO number 2212, series of 2022, we can now say that through the help of our regional offices, we can now all implement the PQA program at the regional level. So we hope that given today's significant learning, we hope we can see you again after some time, after you have already taken up the journey, you have taken up all the information, you're now all ready to be recognized as either level 1 or level 2. Kasi sa regional level, ito muna ang ipinibigay natin, either region level 1 or level 2. So once na level 1 and level 2 na kayo, so syempre, it doesn't stop you from going up the notches pa. So with your open mind and your willingness to learn, we hope we can journey with you throughout your performance excellence journey. I think at this point, I end now the discussion and leave it all back to our PQA team. Back to you, Joyce.
Thank you po, Ma'am She. So to continue po, ano po ba yung regionalization program? Ano po ba yung processes? May I call on the PQA team lead, Ma'am Carol Velasco.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. And I'm tasked to discuss on the regionalization program. So like Ms. Cheryl had said, we are bringing down the levels 1 and 2 to the region. So this is, so what is level 1 and what is level 2? So the regionalization program, this one is a simplified process on the quality management system using the PQA framework. No? So for levels 1 and 2, level 1 is recognition for commitment in quality management. So the law and the IRR defines the level as demonstrated its serious commitment to improvement in order to achieve quality excellence. It should have planted the seeds of quality and productivity and is working towards reaping long-term benefits of the efforts. Okay. So for level 1 po, makitaan namin kayo ng inyong commitment or efforts to move on with your quality and productivity journey. Like you're starting with your ISO, kahit sabihin natin nga wala pa po talagang systems in place, pero nandun na po yung mga start ninyo. You're starting to do the documentations and everything. You might get recognized for that po. No? So titingnan po natin based on the results of the self-assessment that you will be doing later on po. So that is level 1, okay? Recognition for commitment in quality management. And for level 2, it is the proficiency in quality management. So ibig lang sabihin lang po, an organization that have demonstrated through implementation of quality and productivity management principles, significant progress in building sound and notable processes. It should have a documented and solid approach to system level quality and productivity management and has been implementing quality and productivity improvement plans and procedures. So malaking bagay po kung halimbawa meron kayong mga ISO, no? So and most of you here are from the academe, so yung mga accreditation po ninyo, no? Malaking tulong po yan. So makikita na po natin kung at least saang level po kayo, no? When we do the self-assessment. Okay, next slide please. Okay, so with the regionalization assessment process, so we are done with stage 1, which is the nomination stage. And now we are here on the stage 2 po, no? The PQA capability training. So So later on, we'll be calling our partners in PQA, the administrators, to give you a brief orientation on the plan, on the programs that they are offering for you, no? Kumbaga, but this is like we have mentioned before, this is not mandatory for this time, pero if you are going to continue on, no, to the national level, ito po, mga trainings na inaalok nila will be very helpful to you po. Okay? So, the capability building trainings. And later on po, we're going to answer. You will be guided by our consultant, no, on how to be familiar with the steps 1 and 2 po. No? Yun ang gagawin natin. Okay? So, we have the self-assessment review, that is steps 1 to 3. And for the candidate scoring, which have step 4. Then the next stage would be the RCC SPE deliberation, wherein the focal persons, no, after giving you the scores, they will be the ones to present it to our subcommittee on performance excellence po. No? Yeah, i-present po nila yan. Then, during the deliberation, the RCC SPE will decide on what level will be given to our nominated candidates. Then the last stage would be the conferment ceremony. Okay? Just a reminder po, so you have all submitted your candidate information sheet, and for those who answered no in letter D, yung question po na does your organization use licensed software only, and you answered no, so you will be given until you'll be given time, no, to rectify that po, no, kasi for us using unlicensed software is hindi po namin inaalaw yon sa PQA, and that is one of the reasons why organizations get disqualified po even sa national po, no. Sa national po, yun po ang nagiging dahilan kung bakit nadi-disqualify ang isang aplikante. So even here sa regionalization natin, sa regionalization po, same din po yung requirement na yon. So if you have unlicensed software, you have time to rectify it, no. Dapat po maayos na ninyo yan just before the deliberation process po. Okay? Babalikan kayo ng ating focal person, and even us, babalikan kayo ng secretariat para i-check po if you have rectified it po, no? So yun lang po yung reminder po for that. So now, to give us the list of capability training program offerings of our PQA administrators, may introduce to you, mauna po sa atin is mag-present is from Development Academy of the Philippines. They are our partner for the public sector po. Sila po ang administrator for the public sector. Please welcome Ms. Lani Mercader. Ms. Lani?
Thank you, Ms. Carol. Magandang hapon po sa lahat. So I see familiar faces po dito. Ayan. So let me just share my screen. 1 minute po. Okay. Can you already see my screen po? Okay. So good afternoon once again. So ako nga po si Melanie Garcia Mercader from the Development Academy of the Philippines, representing po the PQA Award Administrator for the public sector. So I just want to share our capability programs po na baka you might be interested po, no, to access. Okay, first po, we are offering an orientation on the PQA. So this is a half-day awareness session. So all you need to do is to invite us, and syempre po, if you're available, we will be giving the orientation. And we also conduct po the training course on the PQA application development, or otherwise known as PADC po, no, yung PQA application development course, which is a requirement for those who are applying po dun sa national natin na PQA. So dito po, ituturo sa atin yung appreciation of the PQA framework. And there's also deepening session po on the different criteria categories, from category 1, leadership, category 2, strategy, category 3, customer, category 4, measurement analysis and knowledge management, category 5, workforce, Category 6 operations, and Category 7 results. So this is a requirement po, no, if you're interested po to later on, no, to proceed po or to level up po dun sa ating national PQA. Ayan. Then we're also offering a training course on business excellence self-assessment. In here po, we're going to teach you how to answer the self-assessment. So medyo ano po to, hand-holding in answering the self-assessment tool. And then we will also be helping you out in doing the consensus building. And also, we will be assisting you in identifying your strengths and opportunities for improvement, and also in doing your action planning. We're also offering a training course on knowledge management for the public sector. So this course po enables the participant to understand and apply the different methodology and framework po used in the knowledge management. So particularly the Asian Productivity Organization or APO knowledge management framework, and also focusing on category 4 po, no, yung ating measurement analysis and knowledge management under the PQA framework. Yan. Aside from that, we're also offering a training course on best practice benchmarking for the public sector. So dito po natin ituturo yung formal benchmarking na tinatawag. So ano po to, mutually beneficial to both parties. So if you're interested po, just approach us, or you can also go to our website po for the details of the courses that I've mentioned. Yan. So aside from those capability building po, we also offer technical guidance on business excellence, or also the PQA po yung business excellence or BE. So we have the business excellence strategies and transformation program, or what we call the BEST program. So this is a hand-holding technical intervention together with the training po. So kung ano man po yung kumbaga opportunities for improvement natin, i-customize po natin to sa inyo para matulungan kayo to apply kung ano man po yung dapat nating i-enhance in terms of the BE framework po. Yan. So we also are conducting the government best practice recognition. So this is what we call the GBPR naman po. So this is a parang sort of a competition po, no? So if you have best practices and you want to join the GBPR, we are doing this on an annual basis. So if you're interested also po, you can find the details in our website. So ang gagawin po natin dito, you'll be answering a Google Sheet with the following information for the objectives, the actual best practices, ayan. So after filling out the Google Sheet, you'll have an opportunity to to present your best practice. So may mga judges po tayo dito. So i-judge po kayo. Siyempre may pinakamagaling po na best practice will be recognized po as the winner po of the GBPR. And then your entry po will be included in the compilation of the best practices po under the Center of Excellence Knowledge Map po. So you can also find po the link po in our website if you're interested to browse through dun sa mga past winners na po ng GBPR. Yan. So aside from that, we have other offerings po on business excellence. We are conducting the training course on 5S. So ito po pag-uusapan yung the 5Ss, the basic, pero syempre po may 7S na po, 8Ss pa. So ang ating pong output dito will be an appreciation of your quality workplace, or coming up with your quality workplace standard po, particularly in your organization. And aside from the training course on 5S, we also offer a seminar on SS, or suggestion scheme. So ituturo po dito parang how can we empower an employee through suggestions po, So yun po tinuturo yan. And we also have a training course on WIT, or the work improvement teams. The course enables participants to work together in small teams to analyze and identify the problems, and of course solve your own problems po by being a member of a small team. Yan. So we also have the training course po dun sa mga quality management system offering naman po namin on QMS. So we have a training course on ISO 9001:2015 quality management system requirements and documentation. So if you're not yet po certified, dito po ituturo yung mga iba-ibang mga regulatory requirements, documented information sa pagpe-prepare po natin for a certification. So yun po. And we also have a training course on 19,011-2018 Guidelines for Auditing Quality Management System. So tinuturo naman po dito how to become an effective auditor. Yan yung mga internal audit requirements in accordance to ISO 9000 9001 2018. Ayan. So the participants will gain the learning experience in writing and reporting po yung mga audit findings natin. Yun. So aside from that, we also offer po a training course on root cause analysis. So kunyari po nakatanggap tayo ng mga non-conformities, kung paano natin ma-identify the root causes of the problem and how to do the mga stopgap measures po for that, for the non-conformities. Ito po yung ino-offer natin, the training course on root cause analysis. Yan. And we also have a training course on service process streamlining. Ito naman po, we're going to use the lean management tools for improvement to become more efficient and effective po. Yan. So aside from that, ito naman po for free, we have this program called the CBIC po, or the Capability Building Intervention for Quality Management System. Yan, NBE. So ang gagawin niyo lang po dito, you need to apply doon po sa aming GQMP or the Government Management Program. At pwede po kayong maging beneficiary agency. So we offer free training po on QMS, ayan, sa PQA din po. So kasama na dyan yung mga 5S, mga RCA, mga auditing, or mga, ano ba to? QRD or requirements and documentation, and other improvement and productivity tools. Ayan po. So ito po, this is also annually done. So I think ang nasa batch 3 na po kami. If you're interested to apply, you can also contact the GQMP Secretariat, and you can also visit our website. Yan. I think that's it for DAP po. So back to you, Ms. Carol.
Thank you, Miss Lani, for that. And next we have from the Philippine Society for Quality. We have our partner from the Vice President for PQA Administration. We have Doc Sandra Maninas. Doc Sands.
Hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon to DTI, the members
Afternoon,
of the CB and the region who are present with us today. So once again, good afternoon. I am, as mentioned, Dr. Sandra Maningas, the VP for Philippine Quality Award of the Philippine Society for Quality, which is the administrator for private sector of the Philippine Quality Award. So true to our vision, true to the vision of the society, we want to provide relevant trainings and certification activities which are responsive to the needs of our industries. And we have invited renowned quality gurus throughout the years to facilitate these trainings. We also partnered with different local and international organizations for collaborative projects, which will greatly benefit our trainees. As mentioned, we facilitate the highest national recognition for exemplary organizational performance for private organizations in the country, which is known as the Philippine Quality Award. And for this PQA regionalization, we are providing our services by offering different training activities, which we dubbed as PSQ Collab. What do we mean by this PSQ Collab? This is how we as a society are assisting the companies or the institutions who are venturing towards levels 1 and 2 of the Philippine Quality Award. If you want to develop or strengthen your organization's core skills and your capabilities along the 7 areas of the Philippine Quality Award, we could provide you that training. So basically, this PSQ Collab intends to create, enhance, and develop companies or institutions your capacity to design, to implement, to monitor, to evaluate your quality management efforts, also to strengthen your management and governance so that you can effectively achieve your vision, your goals and objectives for your companies. So this PSQ Collab has 2 approaches, one of which is quality and innovation. Another is technical capacity and building. On technical capacity and building, this is more of providing to you resource partner or a consultant or a support service for coaching on how can you facilitate the activities, although DTICB is already providing you a consultant who can assist you as you progress your venture into Philippine Quality Award. For quality and innovation, these are the training activities that we have lined up, which are along the 7 areas of the Philippine Quality Award. So for category 1 on leadership, we offer several training and activities, like for example, this one on vision, mission, and values, the basics, because we are ultimately breaking down the components of the category so that you can maximize the learning opportunities. Also, we offer legal and ethics compliance training. We also have the power of good communication in the workplace, training on impact of leadership, the basics of corporate governance as well. We also provide a training on corporate responsibility, understanding and seizing the strategic opportunity. We also provide effective 21st century quality leadership skills, and also people stories foreshadowing the results. So this here you will be learning the different metrics of business excellence initiative success. As to the category 2 or strategic planning, we offer about four training activities. This include corporate and strategic planning, driving change and innovation, digital and cultural transformation, and agile innovative culture. Okay. As to customer focus, we offer about 4 trainings as well. A voice of the customer, mastering the customer journeys, measuring and managing customer analytics. We also have introduction to consumer neuroscience and neuromarketing. As to CAT 4, we on measurement analysis and knowledge management, we offer about 4 or 5 training as well. These are emerging trends in quantitative research. We also have the art of data storytelling. We also have strategic financial metrics for quality, and infusing quality in your cyber security efforts. As to workforce, we also provide compensation management and organizational development. We also have stress management and quality of work life and employee journey mapping. So all of this will help you navigate the different categories of the Philippine Quality Award criteria. As to operations, we also have a training on design thinking, a SUGOD, which is copyrighted, a culture-based approach to total quality management. We also have internal quality audit, a tool to improve your quality management system. You also have root cause analysis so that you would know the right RCA methodologies that can be embedded in your programs. And then we also have the better version of 5S. We call it 7S. Building a quality workplace. This is more of good housekeeping. And then agile project management fundamentals, or agile project. This will help you streamline your lead teams by digitizing data entry and verification. We also do risk-based thinking and supplier audit. So those are the different trainings that we can offer to you to help you move forward to your venture of Philippine Quality Award. This is aside from the regular training that we have on on PQA application development course. So I hope that we can be of help to you through the various trainings that we have presented. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Doc San. So for our applicants or for our candidates, like we have said earlier, the trainings they have offered, this is not mandatory for our regionalization of the PQA, but this would be really helpful if you find yourselves going venturing to the national level po, Kasi for national level, there would be like some prerequisite training programs like the application development course for the when you go to the national level, which both DAP and PSQ are offering. Okay, so here are their contact details po, For PSQ, the contact person is Dr. Sandra Maninas. So she is the PSQ VP for PQA administration. And for the AP, we had the Director Maria Teresa A. Agustin and Ms. Lani Mercader po. Okay? So next. So for the PQA regional level, so like mentioned, it is a simplified process. And what we will be doing now is for you to be able to, for this session, we're going to do the self-assessment tool package, or that will be in the Google Excel file, which will be later on distributed to you when you are in your own breakout rooms. So we are going to do organizational profile visit. That is the step 1, and step 2 on the core PQA core values. Okay. Then step 3, which is the comprehensive assessment based on the PQA criteria. This one, you will be required to submit evidences, no? Like halimbawa mga documents and everything as attachment when you accomplish this step 3. And the step 4 will be the assessment evaluation scoring, which will be done by our DTI focal persons, or those who are assigned to you po, no? And they would be the ones presenting it to the RCC SPE for deliberation. Okay. Next. Next slide, please. Okay, so now we go, no? So before you can, before we send you to your breakout rooms, of course, it is very important that you know, so you could answer steps 1 and 2. So we have invited as well the PQA consultant that is assigned to Region 8, and she will be the one to guide you, no? And give an orientation on the organizational profile and the PQA core values. So our resource person is has a diverse background spanning education, tourism, and project management. She possesses a strong foundation in quality management principles, a multifaceted career demonstrating a proven track record in managing educational institutions and fostering strategic partnership with a keen focus on continuous improvement and organizational excellence. She is also a PACOCOA accreditor, and she is also one of our senior assessors of the Philippine Quality Award. And she is also, when she was still working, she used to be, she's also one of the proponents, no, for their organization to be able to get the PQA as well. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Maria Cristina Aquino. Ma'am Tina.
Thank you very much, Ms. Carol, for the very nice introduction. I am senior, as you can see from my hair. It is already white, brought about by COVID, but it is not really, it's a sign of what? Experience, you can say that. But I'm very happy to actually be part of this project. I heard that there are 8 applicants. I'm very happy because I'm also, I was born in Cebu. My mother is from Tacloban. And so the region is actually something that's close to my heart. So thank you very much. I'd like to share my presentation. Mainit-init pa. Sorry about that because I just had some, wait, let me just wait a minute. Okay, so wait a minute. You're seeing. Okay, so thank you very much for bringing me to this very interesting opportunity for you to actually embrace performance excellence through one of the quality assurance projects that we have, and this is the Philippine Quality Awards. I'd just like to get to know you. Maybe you can, let me just take a look at, we have 80 participants, and you can use the reaction buttons in your Zoom. Getting to know you. Let me see if you are any of this. Do a heart, okay? Use the heart to tell me if you are this. Okay, number 1 is, anong nangyari? Teka. Do you have ISO in your organization? Okay, only a few. The others? Are you looking for the heart in your emoticons? There, we have quite a number of people with ISO. How about accreditation institutional? Do you have an accreditation institutional that is maybe given by, if you're a state university, it could be AACUP. If you're private, it could be PACOCOA, or anything that is recognized by FAAP, the Federation of Accrediting Agencies of the Philippines. Give me a Happy face. Give me a happy face if you're if you have an accreditation institutional, meaning to say it is your organization. A happy face. I only have Apolinario, John, Roxanne, Afable. Oh, maybe you can write your organization. Happy face. Kasi hindi siya standard. Okay, now let's see if you have an accreditation program. Let's see a thumbs up. Do you have any program? If you're in a school, is your school accredited with a program? I'm seeing a lot. Yeah. Okay. Good. And then, are you a regional awardee for something? You know, a government agency or a private agency recognize you and celebrated this through an award that's given by you. Let's see a thumbs up. Wow, si Ma'am Obon, Marijun, Leonor Obon, meron sila. Dr. Victor Cañeso, very good. Brian Navarrosa, I'm seeing some. Let's see about CHED. Do you have any program that is a COE or COD? Let's do ano pa ba yung mga emoticons na pwede ninyong ilagay? Ba't wala ako nakikitang emoticons sa aking, happy face again, happy face, happy face. Anyone who is a COD or a COD awardee, Center of Excellence or Center of Development? Ayan, meron kila Brian Navarroza. Brian, you may want to put the organization that you are connected with so that we can take a look at that later. Okay, let's see. Next, autonomous or a university status. Anyone? Just put a thumbs up. Thumbs up? Autonomous. Wow. We have a few. Okay. Anyone who is awarded with an CHED ISA, Institutional Sustainability Assessment ba? Anyone who is ISA? Wala. Okay. National awardee. Ibig sabihin, maybe if you're connected with a national organization, they've recognized you and you were given some kind of award. Put a heart there. Heart? Yan, kay Victor, kay Bipsu. Anyone who is, put a, what do you call that reaction that stays permanent? Put a raise hand, okay? Put a raise hand if you are a PQA assessor. Okay, I see a some. Now let's see if you are, ayaw lumabas. ARQUAT. Are you with CHED ARQUAT? Meaning to say a regional quality assurance team member. So you have some opportunity to assess applications for programs. And the third would be an accreditor of any agency. Please put your hand, raise your hand. There, I see some. Okay, very good. Now, I wanted actually to get to know you simply because I want to see the breadth and width of your quality assurance journey. And people might say that PQA is just one of the available quality assurance programs that we have. And let me just work out something. Okay, I've heard, there are very many quality assurance programs that you have. And, I just like to rattle off some of these quality assurance programs that we have available right now. Accreditation is one such quality assurance. What does accreditation do? You actually take a look of the policy standard guidelines given out by either DepEd, TESDA, or higher education, and you take a look if you are meeting. In fact, the promise of accreditation is that it is more than the PSG, meaning to say there is something more that you're offering beyond the minimum standards that are given. Take a look at ISO. ISO now is focused on the processes that you have. And so you create policies, procedures for the different processes that you have, operation. And when an external validator comes to you, you actually show them, they will actually take a look at how you the processes that you have, and they will say whether you are complying with the processes that you have. Okay. Accreditation institutional, meaning to say you've achieved quite a number of program accreditation and you are now eligible to actually apply for accreditation that is of an institutional level at that. You also have ISA, which is again another quality assurance that's given by the government, and you have to by CHED, and you just simply comply, or you just tell them how you are able to comply with that. Then are a host of other voluntary accreditations that are given, like for example the HR M Prime, there are other accreditations. Some are voluntary and some are mandatory. Now, how do you compare this and a host of other QAs that we have? How do you compare it with Philippine Quality Awards? Philippine Quality Awards, again, they've got a set criteria. There are actually 7 categories, and they have specific criteria standards for different sectors because of the many type of sectors that you have. Some are actually being reviewed right now, and we've just completed the review for the government sector, for business, as well as for education. And the other sectors are going to be evaluated also. Now, aside from complying with the questions, answering the different category, the item questions, the basic, overall, and the multiple questions, there is also one significant difference that you have in PQA that is not present in quality assurance. And this is results that will showcase either your levels, your trends, as well as comparing, which are going to be useful when you set out strategic directions or making decisions on that. And so I would say that PQA is a more encompassing QA because it does not just simply look at standards, it also looks at the results that you show to be able to say that you have what it's called for achieving performance excellence. Now, I'm very happy to have in this roster of 78 participants right now that we have the local government unit of Ormoc, Biliran Province State University, Visayas State University, University of Eastern Philippines, Eastern Visayas State University, Eastern Samar State University, Northwest Samar State University main campus. Bakit main campus lang? Southern Leyte State University. And I'm very happy to welcome you to the fold. I hope that we will have an enjoyable time when we actually look at your PQA application. We have, out of the 8, there are 7 that are in higher education and 1 that is government in nature. Now, one of the first things that you'll have to identify would be creating your core team. And what is your core team? Your core team are the people who are actually going to be working in this particular application. It's not the job of one person. It's not the job of your advocate for PQA. It's not just the job of one unit. Maybe you have a quality assurance unit. Sila lang lahat ang gagawa nito. No. When you take a look at the PQA core team, it cuts across different functional units. And so I would like to recommend that you assign one champion per category. Senior leader, either the president or the vice president, will handle category 1. And then a category is assigned to a functional person that has the most impact on the category items. Like, for example, if it's about the workforce, you may want to take a look at the HR. However, it is not just the job of the HR director. You'll have to identify members of your team as well. Now, take a look. Whether it's a homogeneous or a heterogeneous group, I would like to recommend that you may want to take a look at a group that comes in from different sectors of your organization. If it's HR workforce, you may want to get somebody from faculty, somebody who's non-teaching, maybe somebody who is a contractual, etc., so that you find out if some of the questions, when you respond, they will have a common direction or a common response for some of the processes that you have. Having somebody, having a group that's composed of just one person or one group coming all from one unit may not give you a good overview of how that particular question affects them in other areas. Okay, so you may want to review the groupings later on. One of your assignments would be to submit
or create a list of PQA core team. Is it a good mix of team members? You may want to ask yourself, tingnan nyo kung marami bang from other units as well. Do you have the process owners involved as either category champion or as a member of it? And so maybe you may want to complete that data in the worksheet as well. Okay, so one of the things that you may want to look at also is how do you create your team? Do you create your team focus on the 7 category items that you have, or you may want to actually create the process as well as the results attributed to the process group. So if you're looking at leadership, they will also take care of the results that you have. For strategy, this would be 7.4B, 7.5. Category 3 would be 7.1A and 7.2. Category 4, you may want to take a look at 7.1B. Category 5 would be 7.3, and category 6 would be 7.1B and 7.1C. Why am I encouraging you to have this kind of a mix? Because sometimes, if you have somebody who will do the results, you might be discussing something in your process, and they may not be aware that this is something that you've indicated in your process. But if you have identified the process already in your self-assessment tool, then you will be able to say na, oh, ito, may results kami. Right away, you will be able to identify what your results are. So the first thing that you have to do is look at your organizational profile. What is the organizational profile? It's a snapshot of your organization at this current time. So if you're, for example, you were established in 1908, from 1908 all the way to 2023, ano ba ang na-achieve ninyo? Ano ba ang pinagmulan? What was how did you start? Was it a small school and then it became, it was bundled together with other schools to form a particular organization, etc. So you may want to take a look at your organizational profile, looking at that. The organizational profile is the most important, most appropriate starting point for self-assessment. Why? Because it tells you your insight into key internal and external factors that shape your operating environment. What are your programs? What are your vision, mission? What are the values you hold dearly? How do you want to achieve your vision, which is embodied in your mission? What are your core competencies? What are the collaborative environments, your strategic challenges and advantages, and the impact of your organization and decisions that you have achieved at the moment? So it also sets the tone. It puts you in a good mindset that ito pala ang ating competitors, ito pala yung ating workforce, these are our customers, these are the ways that we communicate, etc. So you have to make sure that the organizational profile is able to give us, whoever is going to read your report, or for example, for those who are joining, maybe you have an employee who just joined in after the COVID, after maybe 2022 or 2023, and may not have a good appreciation of your historical background. And you may want to look at this already as part of you setting him into the right mindset of what the organization is all about. Why is it very important? It helps you identify gaps in key information and focus on key performance requirements and results. There would be, straightforward questions that will be asked. What's your vision? What's your mission? What are your values? What are the products and services that you have to make sure that you're able to identify this? If you're at a loss for some of the answers in this, it will set you, you may want to regroup and find out how do we achieve this? Because later on, when you start answering your Cat 1, Cat 2, and all the other categories, you'll find out na, kaya pala pinapa-identify ko sino yung competitors or strategic advantages, etc., etc., is because it will come in very handy when you start discussing it in your succeeding items as well. You can use it as an initial self-assessment. If you identify topics for which are conflicting, ano bang product natin? Ano ba ang core competency natin? What are we here? What is the mandate of the organization? Why are you offering this program when the mandate is supposed to focus on only agricultural programs, and yet you're offering here something that's different? So now you'll see na, ay bakit tayo parang nag-detour ang ating mga programs? Or you might be offering a product or a service that is not really supposed to be a part of the mandate that's given to you. It sets the context also and allows you to address unique aspects of your organization in response to step 3 of the program. Actually, step 1 and 2. Okay. The self-assessment guide is an exercise to determine your organization's level of preparedness to apply for the PQA. It is recommended that you gather a small group of key representatives from different units and consolidate the responses in a single organizational assessment through consensus. It's not, again, as I mentioned, it's not a job of one person. It takes a group to actually make sure that there would be feedback coming from different members, different units in the organization, so that you have a consensus. Why is it important? Because the PQA is not an award for a single person. The PQA is an award that's given to the whole institution, and so everybody should know it. If you get a level 1 or a level 2, and here you are celebrating, oh, we have a level 2, etc., etc., and the others are not into the celebration mode because they do not understand what PQA is all about. So you've got to bring them into the mindset of how important, what is the value of the PQA, how does it compare or differ from the other accomplishments that you've had, and you've got to make sure that you're able to respond to these queries that they have. So there I have indicated that it is ideally that you have a group of people who will be working on each category. Again, there are no right or wrong answers. If you're not able to find the answer, that means to say there is a gap. And that gap is something that you can address. If it's a deal breaker, then maybe you can take a look, self-reflection. Maybe we will have to take time to make sure that we will be able to provide the answer. Or if you have the answer, but it's scattered all over, then you will have time to consolidate it. Remember, PQA is not all about a point in time in 2023. PQA is also contextual in nature, meaning to say you take a look at your accomplishments over the last 3 or 5 years. 5 years, very on the mark. We have COVID, which started in 2020, and some of the organizations are still recovering. So what are we doing? We want to see how you were operating maybe pre-COVID. And then during COVID, most probably, many of the businesses actually went down. There might be some processes that were not undertaken. But as you were able to recover and modify some of your processes, etc., now you are able to find out that maybe some of the results are now on an uptrend, or some that are positive are on a downtrend, meaning to say, kumukonti na siguro yung, let's say, one result, turnover of employees. Dati malaki. There were some people na who were afraid to report for work and decided to just leave your service. But right now, people are more confident about the way that they're handling their social distancing, and maybe vaccination has also been something that boosts the confidence of the workforce. And so you have more people now who are working and are not looking at resigning from their work from their organization. So the first one, step 1, is involved with organizational profile. What you want to do is respond to this, your organizational environment, organizational description, organizational relationships, your competitive situation, the competitive environment, strategic context, and performance improvement system. This is accomplished by the candidate. As a consultant, we will read it and we will tell you what needs to be improved, etc. And so, the wonders of technology, we do not have to courier a set of documents to us. What we will have to do is actually just look at your shared document. We will be creating, I think DTI has already created some folders for you to have access on some of the documents, and I can just actually visit this and give you some tips on how to strengthen or how to improve on your responses for this. Organizational profile also will indicate you will have to respond to the box right after the question. However, if you do not have any responses to the question, let's say on the box right immediate after the question, there would be an action plan. What actions need to be done? when will you do it, and who will do this? Because if you're not able to identify your product or service offering, ay, ano bang produkto natin? Ano ba ang service offerings natin? Then it's a jolt for you. Then maybe you have to search, what's your mandate, where is it, etc., etc. You may want to identify it there in the actions to be done. When will you be able to do it, complete it, and then who is supposed to do that as well? Okay, so this is an important step in making sure that we're able to take a look at what your organization is all about. There's several questions, as mentioned initially in the page before you. We have the first portion as well as the second portion, each one with several questions to boot at that. Okay. The workforce, just to make sure that we are on the same page, these are people who are actively supervised by your organization and involved in accomplishing the organization's work, including paid employees. So this could include permanent, part-time, temporary, telecommuting employees, as well as contract of employees supervised by your organizations, and volunteers as appropriate. Like, for example, if you have practicum students, etc., or people who are seconded to you, that can be part of your workforce also. Your workforce includes team leaders, supervisors, managers at all levels. When you talk about strategic advantages, you're looking at these are benefits that exert a decisive influence on your organization's likelihood of future success. What makes you different? What is your unique selling feature? What are your competitive advantage over the others? So you want to make a list of this. When you do your SWOT or your PESEL, you find out what is your strategic advantage and how do you make sure that you're able to maintain this strategic advantage for the organization. So this could be either from your core competencies, which focus on building and expanding on your organization's internal capabilities, or two, strategically important external resources, which your organization shapes and leverages through external relationships and partnerships. You have partners, you have memorandum of agreement with private or public, your core competencies based on maybe if you're in education, this would focus on instruction, research, extension, maybe your revenue generating activities as well. These are things that you can actually identify. When you talk about strategic challenges, these are pressures that exert a decisive influence on your organization's likelihood of future success. These challenges are frequently driven by your organization's anticipated competitive position in the future relative to other providers of similar products. So you're looking at barriers to entry. It could be supplier power, it could be customer power, it could be threat of things within that are not beyond your control. External challenges may relate to customer or market needs or expectations, product or technological challenges, financial, societal, and other risks or needs. Internal strategic challenges may relate to capabilities or human and other resources. Like we've seen a number of organizations where they have a very small group of employees, permanent, but they have a big COS, contract of service, because they don't have the plantilla items, etc., etc. But even if there are challenges, you may want to also identify what are the steps that you are undertaking to make sure that you're able to provide quality human workforce in your establishment. So the worksheet will also have the same. There you have your organizational description, etc., etc. Let's look now at your core values. The core values, before we go, are there any, if you have any questions, let me just take a look at, I'm sorry, trying to navigate the chat box. Oh, I'm just seeing some responses, but no questions. If you have any questions, do just ask them anytime, so that you can be clarified about it as well. The next would be the core values. What are core values? The core values are things that an organization holds as unique to themselves. It is something that is present in many of the units that you have. And for you to be able to answer this, you will be using a Likert scale of 10 points, adherence of a candidate to that particular core value. So this will determine the level of preparedness. This is also part of the preparedness of the candidate. This should be cross-cutting, meaning to say this particular core value is not just exhibited by one group, but it is exhibited by majority or some of the units in the organization. Now, again, you will have to accomplish this. I have already, I've requested Jeremy to actually prepare the Google Sheet, which you will be using later on. There are no right or wrong answers again. This is something that will give us a picture of, at this time, where do the values merit? Is it 1 is the lowest, 10 is the highest? Let's say you're looking at visionary leadership. Are you a 1 or are you a 10? And there would be description. How do you define what is visionary leadership? There are narratives that you can use to use for defining what each of these core values are. So when you take a look at your PQA core values, when you start answering, I would like you to read the definition of the values, reflect how it is practiced in your entire organization. I have developed a Google form, and it will be distributed to all the relevant stakeholders. When you take a look at the relevant stakeholders, what I mean, it would be distributed most probably to the members of the PQA core team. And you may want to respond to the survey, and we will do use data analytics. Do you want to use the mean? Do you use the median, a mode? Because the results of a Google form can actually be extrapolated using an Excel sheet, and it's very easy to actually compute whether it's the mean, median, mode that you're going to be using. So the core values are there. Now the core values definition would include here. Do we manage within our functional silos, or do we recognize and manage based on how our organization system work together? So do you do a silo mentality versus a systems perspective? Again, there's no right and wrong answer. Dati, there would just be one person who will answer it, and the others will not know what particular value or how it was answered by that particular person. So what I'd like to do is recommend that everyone who is going to be part of the PQA core team respond to this. So the more the merrier. If you have like 20 people in your PQA core team, then we should have 20 responses. And then we will take a look, or somebody from your team can take a look, and you will be able to find at what range of scores do you find your responses. Is it in the 5, 6 area? You have more 6, then maybe you can put a 6 for that particular score. This is not going to be part of the grading, okay? Happy enough that you are reflecting on what your organization can be proud of in terms of outstanding values that come across, okay, which will be represented in various items that you have. So read the definition. Okay, so some of this would include systems perspective, managing all the components of your organization as a unified whole. So meaning to say, there's a macro leadership. Within the organization, there are subunits. Subunits, micro, would have their leader and members. And then maybe in some subunits, there would be subunits again. Again, the thing is, everybody, there is a systems perspective, meaning to say the performance of one unit can actually impact on the other. And so you appreciate that there is somebody making sure who is conducting everything that you have there. It's a system with interdependent operations. There's somebody who's synthesizing things, aligning and making sure that you're able to integrate it. There are other, okay, take note, I will not deliberate on this very long. Focus on the fonts that are color blue, because they are important enough to give you an idea of what systems perspective is all about. Visionary leadership would have this, sets a vision for the organization. You know, I guess for any accreditation, this is a standard question that's being asked, but what we'd like to see is how do you make sure that this vision is measured? How do you make sure that this is something that you are moving towards? Because sometimes, you know, the vision is just there, but nobody is reflecting on how your strategic directions, your KPIs, your accomplishments are moving towards your vision, etc. It should help guide all of your organization's activities and decisions. If I do this particular activity, will I reach my vision more? So there are questions, deliberations that you want to do as well. When you talk about customer focus excellence, who is your customer? You have to take a look at that, because if that should be actually a question you will respond to in your organizational profile. Sino ba yung mga customers ko? Is it the parents? Is it the general public? Hindi mo pwedeng general public, because you know you've got to make sure that you fine-tune it to those that will avail of the products and services of your particular organization. Okay, customer focus excellence has both current and future components, meaning to say you take a look at the life cycle of your customer. Before they become your customer, they are your customer, and then by the time that they graduate, or maybe you've satisfied their need, then they become an old customer. But how do you make sure that you maintain this relationship with your customer? How do you get more customers? Do you just simply go to your competitor, or how do you make sure that you're able to market the products and services that you have in your school or in your organization to a potential bigger market that you have? Okay. You also take a look at what differentiates you from your competitors. Why will students, why will other organizations, customer go to you rather than to the organ? Sometimes you have transferees, sometimes you have, I'm talking, you know, sorry about the LGU here, but kayo kasi wala namang magagawa. But still, you know, you get a lot of customer complaints. And this is something that you may want to work on also with your customers. Valuing people. Success depends on an engaged workforce that benefits from meaningful work, clear organization direction, and opportunity to learn and accountability for performance. The people that you have in your community, in your organization, how do you make sure that you make commendations? How do you take care of them in their capacity to do work, as well as in their in their career progression? These are the things that you may want to take a look at. Organizational learning and agility looks at continual organizational learning, rapid changes, and for flexibility in operation. When COVID happened, how did you deal with it? How are you moving forward? Are you thinking of going back to how it was before COVID, or are you using the transformations that you have achieved as a result of COVID to move forward? You know, a lot of people are saying, can we go back to where it was before? I've spoken to quite a number of organizations, and they see that they are more efficient, more effective, more productive in the work that they're doing as a result of the many transformations that they have done in the workplace. And so this is one area that you may want to address. Just around 4 hours ago, it was earth-shattering because we had an earthquake. I don't know if you're in your part of the world, you experienced the earthquake. I thought it was just my chair moving, but when I took a look at one of the frames in my room, I saw it was moving, and we were doing our prayer session that moment, and everybody started praying about the people who were going to be affected by the earthquake. You know, those are things that you have to make sure that we are able to prepare for in the organization. And then focus on success, sustainability of your organization. If you have like 100 years of history, 75 years, 50 years, you want to make sure that the next generation, the next group of people will actually still be able to avail of the services that you have. I came last weekend, I had a homecoming of sort in my university where I graduated in 1981, and it was very nice because I saw multi-generations of people already in that gathering. I saw students who are now teachers or administrators or general managers, etc. And they have students also are recent graduates now in their employ. So it was a very nice way of saying that the program is sustained, the enterprise, the organization is also going to be successful in the coming years. Managing for innovation, make meaningful change to improve your organization's products and services. If ISO QMS is very focused on continuous improvement, PQA is all the more focused on that. We have to make sure that we listen to our customers, to our workforce, to our partners, etc. And you've got to take a look at where the pain points in any of the processes that you have, you're able to address. If, for example, they say it takes what? Why does it take 2 weeks to request for a particular form to be signed, etc., etc., and find out where the challenges are. And you'd be surprised that with a system in place, with the fourth industrial revolution, or even now we are in the cusp of the fifth industrial revolution, where there are a lot of digital analytics, digital transformation that's happening. People are scared that they may be replaced. I said, don't be scared about innovation, especially of technology. They are now giving you more time to actually develop relationships, to deepen the relationships, because you're able to find out feedback from your customer. Management by fact. You use evidences. The results that you get as a result of your processes that you have will be meaningful in the way that you handle some of the decision points that you have to make. Like, for example, this particular person has been staying in the same department, in the same designation, with no improvement in his performance, etc. And so what do? You have to create a career progression, looking at where his challenges are in his work, so that he can be promoted. Because sometimes, it can demotivate an employee if you see somebody who's younger get promoted, and you have to take a look at what are the evidences that you can use to do that, okay? Societal responsibility is to serve the public and the well-being of the society that you have adopted in your area. Ethics and transparency with government, citizens charter, etc. Ethics and transparency is something that's very strong, not only for public, but also for private, because you've got to make sure that as you model, as other customers find out, leaders have to model good behavior and make sure that ethical practices and the way that you make decisions are very transparent as well. Delivering value and results is very important, because you've got to make sure that you have the product and services serve a purpose, and the volume, the quantity, the quality of the products that you have is also something that you want to do. Okay, now we want to do accomplishing the self-assessment too. What we want to do is determine the level of preparedness to apply for PQA. It's accomplished again by the PQA. So as mentioned, there would be just to give you a background, PQA is all about process and results. When you do this, you make sure that whatever process is identified in CATs 1 to 6 would have corresponding results in CAT 7. You cannot define a process and have no results as basis. So kung wala kayong results, you may want to just remove that particular process in your listing of processes that you have, because there would be maybe several processes that you have in the area. So what are the processes that we have? You have leadership that has 2 items: senior leadership, governance, and societal responsibility. Strategy, development, and implementation. Customers, you listen to the voice of the customers as well as customer engagement. Measurement, analysis, and knowledge management. You have 2 items again there. Workforce, the environment of the workforce as well as workforce engagement. And operations would be processes and operational effectiveness. When you look at processes, you're looking at 4 evaluation dimensions. What are these? You're looking at approach. What is approach? Approach would be methods used to carry out the process, the appropriateness, effectiveness, and degree that it is repeatable. So when they start asking you, do you have an approach? Ano ba yung approach? What are the methods that you're using to respond to the question that was being asked of you? The second would be deployment. When you say, is there deployment in the organization? This is the extent that approach is applied consistently, used by all work areas. And that's why when I was asking you to form your PQA team, I want you to get from different units as well, because you want to check if the deployment is organizational wide or just for a particular unit. Learning. How do you evaluate? How do you assess? How do you make sure that there are new opportunities for innovation? Is it the same step that you're doing from forever to now? I know that bakit natin papalitan itong process natin? Because we found out that we got a complaint or there was a suggestion. And so you want to make sure that learning is something that is constant in any of the processes that you have. Wag na daw tayo mag-bulletin board kasi wala naman nagbabasa ng bulletin board. We use social media. So social media now is your way of how do you make sure that the social media that you are using is something that is efficient? Is it able to announce to the whole community or specific community? You have to do some kind of evaluation. And finally, integration would be revising plans based on assessment findings, harmonizing processes. How do you make sure that, nakita namin social media ang tapat, ngayon anong gagawin ninyo? So your processes now, if you have policies, if you are ISO, you define your procedures, you've got to make sure that you modify it, or you make sure that you're able to advise your community about these new processes that you have. So it's in constant review, continuous improvement. ADLI, approach, deployment, learning, and integration. We now do go to results. Results, when you take a look at results, there are 5 items that we have. You're looking at service and process results, which are found in 7.1, and you'll find out later that this will be divided into several areas or several equivalent processes that we have. Customer focus results for 7.2. 7.3 is workforce focus results. 7.4 would be leadership and governance results, and 7.5 would be financial and sectoral results. Okay? So when you talk about results, hindi ADLI ang ginagamit for evaluation. You look at a different acronym. You are looking at Let's See now. When you talk about levels, you are looking at the current performance on a meaningful measurement scale, meaning to say, what is your accomplishment as of now? Let's say you have enrollment. Your enrollment is 20,000, okay? Take a look at what was your target. Your enrollment target was 21,000. So 20,000 divided by 21, siguro nasa 95 or 90%. So hindi mo na-reach yung 100%. That is what you call level. Trends, on the other hand, look at a time series, your levels for different period. So performance improvement or continuation of good performance in areas of importance over a period of time. So you're looking at, for PQA, it's 5 years or in some 3 years. So 3 years, you're looking at 2023, siguro mag-uumpisa ng 2020, puro bababa. Okay, maganda yon, mag-uumpisa kayo. But you want to also see where you started prior to COVID. So pwede mong ilagay ang 2019 ninyo. Comparison. You cannot boast that you are the best if you're not looking at your competitor. So you have to, in your organizational profile, you will be asked who your competitors are or your comparators. Bakit? Paano mo siya pipiliin? You have to choose a competitor that may offer the same program or services that you have, maybe in the same region that you have, or it could be in another region. But the thing is, you always benchmark against this particular competitor. Then you have integration. As a result of what you found in the results that you have in level strengths comparisons, how do you address important performance requirements, future performance, and reflect on the harmonization across processes and work units? So how do you make sure that, bumaba tayo sa board performance? How do you make sure that you address this? So there would be another process that you have. So as I mentioned earlier, it is preferred that when you form your team, you combine already the process with the results. So when you look at results for process for leadership, the results will actually be in 7.4 and 7.5. When you look at strategy, the results will be found in 7.4B. For customers, it will be found in 7.2. In the workforce, it will be found in 7.3. In operations, it will be found in 7.1. Measurement, you will find it in many of the result items that you have. Okay, so how do we respond to the self-assessment tool? You will be asked, okay, approach, deployment, learning, and integration. And you will be asked to either put a yes or no. Do you have processes as responses to the requirements? Titingnan niyo yung question, how do senior leaders set and share your vision, mission, goals, and values with the workforce? Would the answer be yes or no? Kung ang answer ninyo yes, may toggle, there would be a yes or no option, and then it will ask you now to explain the process. Ano ba ang ginagawa ninyo para ma-share the vision, mission, etc., etc. So you write out a brief explanation. You will be asked also to mark an X in either strength or OFI. May approach ba kayo sa strength or opportunity for improvement? Deployment, is it a strength or an OFI? Learning, again, and so on. And you will be asked to identify evidences or how your OFI, how you are working to address your OFI. Okay? So the results, it's the same thing. You will be asked to respond. Do you have documented? Again, hindi anecdotal ha. Pag sinabing documented, these are available. There are source documents which you can supply whoever is going to read your report to make sure that you're able to respond to the question. So like, for example, the question is, what are your results for your product or services, and your customer service processes? Kung may sagot kayong yes, you identify your key performance indicators in the first column, and you identify if they have, let's see, level, trend, comparison, integration, and then you may want to indicate in the last column your evidence. Okay? So madali lang siya. Yes, no, X, 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 X lang. Moving forward, a link will be provided each applicant with a self-evaluation assessment tool and other reference materials. You may want to, it is highly encouraged actually, hindi lang may, I will recommend to create folders for the evidences, subfolders per category process and criteria item results, hyperlinks. So you don't have to put that, you can just simply put the title of the evidence, and hyperlinks can be used in the self-assessment tool towards the Google Drive that will contain all your documents. Your homework is to create your core team per category, per institution, champion and members. We will have to request that you create your Viber and communicate with each other. You will be asked to accomplish the core value survey individual initially, because we want to make sure that we will be able to arrive at your consensus, and then we will ask you to create your schedule of meetings wherein you will need my presence in these meetings. Okay, so visiting the PQA regional self-assessment tool is the end. I will stop share. Stop share, and I will go. Do I share my form so that we can take a look at the form all together? Stop share.
Ay,
Joyce?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Uh-uh.
Sige po. For
Maybe-
all, yes, ma'am. Then
Maybe you-
later, mag-breakout rooms na po tayo for them to answer the self-assessment.
No, maybe what we can do is if we can share one file na para lang makita nila live yung isang document, or wag muna.
Pwede naman, ma'am. Yes po.
Sige. Can you put them, can you share in the chat box a link for a form? Pwede daw makahingi ng presentation. Yes, I will just edit a bit because I was working on it just a few minutes before we started the meeting, but I'll finalize it and I'll give you a copy. Maybe this is something that can be uploaded in your individual organizational folder. Yes. And do we have already? Yes, I'm going to be sending you a copy of my presentation, and I think all the other presentations for that matter. The presentations from DAP, from PSQ, from DTI, those are reference materials that you can use so that we can be all in the same page. Okay, so if you have any clarifications that need to be done, we can work on that. Okay. Yes, we have a link already that we can use. Jeremy, Joyce, Domingo.
Yes, ma'am. Send na po sa
Ayan, okay.
meeting
So
chat.
if everybody, so we don't have to share. There's a link that's provided. You need access, request access.
Sige, ma'am. Wait.
Okay.
Though we'll be sending their own, naman po, their own self-assessment.
I just want to share so that they can take a look. There are worksheets. There are several worksheets that you will find in the form, and not all worksheets will require an answer. One will actually be consolidating all the responses in one worksheet. Okay, para lang madaling makita. Okay, let me see again the chat. Pareho pa rin ba yung link?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I see. Oh, yan. Marami ng tao dito. Who are here? I see. Puro mga, hindi sila registered kasi, no? Kaya, we have 2, 4, 5 plus 10, 11. Okay? So, the introduction page.
Ma'am,
Okay.
kayo na po mag-share. Kayo na po mag-share. Sige, ma'am.
Actually, they don't have to look at the screen anymore because if they're on the screen, I will just walk you through the form so that it's easy enough for everyone to take a look at. Okay? The first is introduction. Read that on your own time, but it's very important that you read through it so that you know how to accomplish the form. The second worksheet is all about the organizational profile. What do you have in the organizational profile? You have several questions. As mentioned earlier, P1 would talk about organizational description. P2 would look about P1B would look about several items. There are 5 items that you have to take a look at. Then there's organizational relationships, there's organizational situation, competitive environment, and so on. So when you take a look at this particular question, if you go to row 19, if you have something to say, you write it there. Okay? Kung wala kayong masabi, wala kayo niyan, hindi nyo alam, kunwari, hindi nyo alam, there has to be some action that you will take. And so you write the action on row 22, column C. Kikita nyo yan. So kung may sagot kayo sa row 19 or sa row na may question, immediately after the question, there is no need for you to respond to the action plan. So, kung wala kayong sagot dun sa cell after the question, that's when you write something in the action plan. Ganun lang po yon. Hindi kayo dapat magsagot ng action plan kung meron naman kayong sagot. Kasi minsan nakakakita kami ng, ba't siya nagsasagot ng action plan? Eh meron naman silang sagot. Okay? Are we clear on this? 23 lang ang nandito. 28. 28 out of how many people? What happened to the others? Admit. Okay. The others, you can see this. You know why I'm sharing this with you? Because when you start work within your organization, this is how you will do it also. You will share this document with other members of the team so that you can actually use it all at the same time. The only thing about a shared document is you cannot be in the same cell as another person. Kailangan, you can be in other parts of the document and you can work on it, pero you cannot be on the same cell. Okay? So yun lang importante intindihin niyo. Sa core values, we go to the worksheet on core values. Before you start responding to this, I have requested already Ms. Jeremy to actually send you a link where you will each individually answer the question on core values. Kasi dito, mamaya sasabihin ng isa, sasagutin niya, and all of a sudden, why are you answering it in behalf of me? I'm part of this organization, and yet you're not asking me my thoughts on this particular core value. So we do not want to be, we want to be inclusive for those people who matter. Okay, so the people who matter will be the PQA core team, and you are representing different sectors, different units in your organization. So before we start answering this, you will use the core PQA core value Google form that I requested everyone. For the third worksheet, which is the criteria requirements, there is no need for you to answer this. Answers for this will actually be automatically be consolidated into this worksheet for the worksheets that you have that are called labeled category 1, category 2, all the way to category 7. Okay? Hindi kayo ma-allow. Pwede ba? Mag-a-answer ba ako dito? Hindi ako makaka-answer kasi naka-protect itong worksheet na to. Sasabihin nyo, may diferensya itong worksheet na to. Don't be bothered by the worksheet that you have on the third worksheet that is known as Criteria Requirements 3. Consolidate. This is a summary sheet that will get inputs from the different categories. Okay? So for category 1, let's all go to category 1. Nahihirapan ako to move to category 1. Okay? Bakit ayaw? You go to any work category 1. Bakit ayaw akong pumunta? There, category 1. So I defined with you what are the meanings of approach, deployment, learning, integration. Mag-unahan kayo. Sino mauuna dun sa color blue? If you go to blue, link the blue, go to blue, and you will have an answer of either yes or no. Pag sinagot nyo yung yes, dapat meron kayong process na i-explain doon sa cell under that yes or no. In this instance, it is row 25. There has to be an explanation that you can put there. Okay? And then, you will now go respond to the ADLI. Do you put an X in the strength or in the OFI? May approach ba kayo? So if you're able to identify your approaches, you will put your evidences here in the column XIJK. Okay? The same for deployment, for learning. So learning, dapat puro mga evaluation yan, mga assessments, etc. Integration, how you improve on the process, etc. Okay? So it's easy. Ilang questions lang ang sasagutin ninyo per page. If you're familiar with the PQA, the level 3, level 4, they have to actually complete a 50-page report. But for you, it is just enumeration of items. So you go in category 2, category 3, category 4. You go to category 7. Category 7, now you have ibang evaluation dimensions. You have levels, trends, comparisons, integration. As I mentioned, levels is for a particular year. Trends would be for several years. Comparison would be against your competitor, and integration would be improvements on results that you have. When you start comparing yourself, please make sure that you use the same organizations throughout all the comparisons, because we've seen some, they will be selective about their comparator. They will select organization ABC for 7.1A. Pagdating doon sa 7.3, iba na naman ang kanyang set of comparators. Hindi, kailangan the same ng the same, because that will show you whether you are better or not so good as compared to your comparison. So in effect, you will be accomplishing categories, worksheets category 1 to all the way to category 7. Now, you have also a glossary of terms, of key terms. Ano yung glossary of key terms na yan? If you go back to category, take any category, there would be words that are all caps. Mamili kayo ng any all caps words. Pagaya na, if I'm in category 6, process is in all caps. That all caps word is actually found in the glossary of terms that you have. Okay? So that is to give you further explanation. Ano bang hinihingi dito sa akin? Pag sinabing process, ano ba yung process na yan? Okay? So anything that is capitalized, all caps, and worksheets 1 all the way to category 7, you will find in the glossary of terms. The core values and concepts are actually found here. They are defined. But I've also placed the worksheet, the Google form with these definitions for each of the different core values that you will be responding to. Okay? I think is there anything that I still have to explain to the group? Naka-mute ka, Gerard? Miss Joyce.
Yes, and so for our breakout sessions po, they will just answer the step 1 and step 2 po for today. They have 1 hour po. Though if hindi naman po nila matapos, assignment na lang po nila, ma'am.
Okay. Step 1 would be core values, org profile.
Org profile po.
Org profile and
The core values.
And the core values. But the core values, you have a Google form. Have they been given per organization?
Yes, ma'am. Maglilibot na lang po kami sa mga breakout rooms later for their links po.
Sige. So, because I saw that we only have 75 participants, less the DTI family and less myself, maybe we have like 68. There are 8 applicants. So that would mean that roughly you have around 8 people only, maybe, because I took a look at the registration. And the registration, there are, Biliran province has quite a significant number of participants. You have around 18 minus 117 participants, very good. We have from Eastern Samar, your attendance starts at 34 all the way to 64. Oh, 30 participants. Well and good. Naku, si local government unit of Ormoc, nag-iisa ka lang po. What about the others? Okay. For Northwest Samar State University, there's only one. In Southern Leyte State University, there are 70 to 69 all the way to 73. So there are like 5 participants only. For University of Eastern Philippines, 2 lang po kayo. Siguro magtawag kayo ng members ninyo. And Visayas State University, there are only 3 of you. So, is there a recording of this briefing?
Yes, ma'am, meron naman.
Ayan. So, padadalan kayo ng briefing. Yung siguro sa ano nila, no, sa kada folder. You can put everything there so that they can respond to it. And then we will ask everyone to go to accept the invitation to the breakout. I will go around as well to help you manage the individual work, the organizational work that you have to focus on. Is that good, everyone? Maybe we can do another picture while we are still complete. Baka mamaya malaglag-laglag na naman yung mga iba. 75 of us. I'd like to see everyone. Oh, may mga on the way. You know the beauty about technology? You can be in several places at the same time. You can be mobile. You can be at home. You can be in the workplace. So I'd like to see pictures of everyone. Yes. O siguro sa susunod, magkaroon kayo ng virtual background ng kada inyong institution. O, di ba? Ang gandang picture yon. Pagpunta ninyo sa bawat group. Okay, this is my first picture. I'm taking for the first pane. I have 2 panes. Tatlo. Wait ha, first pane. Let me just save it. And then the second, ang ganda naman ng Bipsu. Okay, let's go to second pane. Bakit ang second pane wala nang nakabukas ng buka nila? Are you here with us? Are you also doing multitasking? Ready, get set. Keep on smiling because you don't know where you will be in my picture. And that's group 2. And I have the third group. The third group is here. Okay. Siguro nga ang assignment ninyo, buuhin nyo muna yung grupo ninyo para alam natin who are going to be part of the meeting group that we have. Okay. Anything else that we have to do? So break out and then we come together again, or it's class dismissed already?
Ma'am, let's have a break muna for 5 minutes.
Health
Then
break.
tsaka po sila mag-breakout room. We'll
Okay.
send the links.
Okay.
Then yun, ma'am.
Okay.
After that, my closing remarks lang po.
We come back at around what time? 4:45?
For the breakout rooms po, they have 1 hour to complete hindi naman po complete, to start the steps 1 and 2.
Okay. Yes. So we come back at 4.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 4 o'clock. Okay, everybody. I'll see you in your breakout rooms. Thank you very much. Hello, nice to see you. Totohanan na ba ito talaga? Congratulations, President Victor. Kung ikaw ba yan.
I miss Tina.
Hello.
I miss you.
Congratulations.
I'm sorry, may ako, side by side at back to back na virtual meeting. Pasok ka 8 in the other side.
Never mind. That's the beauty about doing virtual things. But congratulations.
Yung ibang instructions kanina. So what are we going to do now here in this breakout session?
You have your link already for your form? Okay. Was it given?
Yes po. Mayroong link na.
Ano yan? Yung form ng self-assessment?
Miss Jenny,
Can you,
Na-facilitate
were you
na ba
given
ito?
also the ano? Were you also given the link to the core value survey? Hindi pa.
So far, yung link dito is
Yung form pa lang, yung Excel?
Yes po, ma'am.
Meron na kayong core value survey?
This one po.
Which one is this?
Yung nasa screen ko, Miss Nina.
Yan lang yung inyong nakuha. So,
Yes.
wala pa yung, wag niyo muna sagutin yung core value. Okay. Actually, dito, pwede ninyong gawin, you can put hyperlinks kung kunwari, yung product services, pwede kayo mag-website. Di ba may mga website kayo na nakalista na yung mga products and services ninyo? Or departments, programs that you're offering? You can put it there para hindi na tayo maglilista. Di ba? Or you can have a short paragraph and then put the hyperlink to the source document. Are you following? Kunwari,
Yes po.
vision, yan. Tapos, go vision, hindi pala ako pwede sumagot sa inyo, no? Kasi hindi ako nakaka-access pa. So, product service offerings. You have on your website, most probably you have all the programs. Tama ba? You can say that we're off, BIPS, not BIPS, Biliran, ano ba kayo? BIPSU, no? BIPSU is offering 30 CHED undergraduate programs, 10 graduate programs, may TESDA programs ba kayo? May DepEd, etc. Tapos, ganun lang, general. And then you have a link to a document that identifies all of these programs. Diba? Yan. Okay. O, yung iba naman sila ang sasagot na iba. So, vision, mission, values, core, meron kayo niyan eh. Diba? And then, you go to, etc. Yung core value, yung core value survey link, inaayos pa. We will be sending it in a while to you. Okay? So, kaya na niyo yan. Yung iba siguro sumagot ng ibang items. Mag-assign na kayo kung sino siguro pwede niyong ilista dito sa M, sino ang sasagot ng P1A1, P1A2, P1A3, etc. Para alam na ito ang assignment ng bawat person. Okay? Then you're able to accomplish it. Any question? Siguro si HR siya ang sasagot ng workforce. May workforce dyan eh. Organizational profile will be about workforce profile. I-assign niyo kung kanino. Sino ang sasagot? Is who will assign? Who will assign you to in doing the list? Maybe somebody from the QA? Nandiyan pa si Jadel? Or
excuse me, can we have the different four champions, the
Yeah.
focal, take charge, and then you just delegate also others to your
like
team?
dito sa vision mission, madali yan. Ilagay mo kung sino yung naka-assign. Ilagay mo dito sa isang column kung sino. All of you actually can see the sheet anyway. Di ba? Kasi parang baka mamaya isa lang ang sumasagot. Para makarami ba? Ayan. The core value link is already available in the chat box. Nakita niyo na? Can you share the link for the self-assessment so I can enter and help you out?
Hello, may I know if was really here? So can we have your face? Is this your
Si President na ang
on cam tayo?
nagmamando.
Kasi di ko alam kung sino nandito. Our focal persons are here or through the representatives? Kasi parang walang nag-react or nag-interact. Ano ito? So, what are the tasks to be done, please?
The first one is the organizational profile. And then the second is there
So
is a
maybe Ma'am
link.
Jenny will take charge of that in the leadership. Ma'am Jenny.
There,
The
yeah.
second, what's this? Ano yung sa second task?
Organizational profile. Number one is
Ma'am Jenny, okay sa'yo?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
there's
Ano pa?
P1A1, ma'am, sir. Organizational environment that would include product service offerings. The second would be vision mission. Third is workforce profile. Maybe the workforce profile can be somebody from HR.
Ma'am Reggie.
Yan. Tapos assets. Siguro si supply officer ba yan?
Ma'am Jenny, ikaw itong encode?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please. Sige.
Tama
sige.
ba? Assets ba supply officer o si chief accountant?
Ano yan? Sa finance?
Oh, sino? Who in finance?
What
Part
are
of
your
this group,
organization's
part of this
facilities,
group.
technologies, and equipment?
Part of this group who is present in this group.
Oo.
Sino sa HR? And then the next item is regulatory requirements. Sino yung nagpo-process ng lahat ng CHED, TESDA, DOLE, COA, DBM requirements? Iba-iba? O lahat ang may hawak? Registrar bang may hawak dito lahat? Or who handles that? Or it's a combination? Maybe for academic, si Kasi may physical plant din, sir. Yung yung mga pollution officer, OSHA, di ba? Yan yung mga requirements. I'm in row 42. Who's in charge? Workforce profile is, tapos na tayo, no? Workforce is third. Workforce is HR. Assets is sino sa grupo ninyo na nandyan? Finance daw, sabi ni sir? Who in finance?
Nandito ba si attorney?
Attorney Pam is not here po. sir.
Di ba nakaano na tayo bifocal? Saan ba yun included yung sa finance?
Okay. So, ganun ang gawin niyo sa organizational profile. Assign who will be responsible to respond to each of the questions that you have there. The second item that you also need to accomplish would be the link that is found right now in by DTI. The forms, the one that was given by DTI, chat message in the chat room. Are you in the chat room? Take a look at the form. Everyone from BIPSU, yeah, will have to
This one
respond
po.
to this. Yes, everyone will have to respond to it. Okay? So, two things ang gagawin ninyo. The assignment, miski kung hindi nyo muna masagot, isa-isa, all of you, each one will have to respond to that. Hindi collective answer. Each one. So, if there are 24 of you, or 20 minus ako, 23, all of you, there should be 23 answers that we will get in this particular worksheet. Okay? Okay? Any question? So kung kunwari nakita ninyo kayo ang assigned doon sa organizational profile, sagutin na nyo. Okay?
Okay.
Are good? Okay. Thank you, sir, for
Thank you,
taking the
ma'am.
lead.
Thank you.
I'll see you the other. Can we have a picture? Everyone, open your camera so I can have a picture of the BIPSU.